VerDarLuz. And so we're definitely glad to have him on. Those of you that don't know him, we're going to be introduced to him. I got fascinated with him because I've been, for the last few months, I've been really getting into relocation astrology, astrocartography, really getting into the gist of geodetics and local space and, just really getting into how do we connect with the Earth, but then also how does the Earth connect with us, and how does the planetary lines and play out in the scheme of this whole operation. And so it's very fascinating for us to be involved in this particular talk today. And so I want to bring on Mr. VerDarLuz. Hello, how you doing?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, right on. Great to talk to you, Scott. I'm doing great.
Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you really got involved in astrology?
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's a really beautiful story. I started studying the Mayans quite a bit in the Mayan calendar, specifically the end of the Mayan calendar, the 2012 end date, and that was back in like 2004, 2005. And through that, a number of synchronicities pointed me to study with Carl Kalaman, a Mayan scholar, and through him, I worked with a Mayan and Western astrologer, Carol McLeod, and then through her, I worked through a Shamanic astrologer, Daniel Jamario, and that kind of started my process of really diving in. And once I got exposed to the archetypes, and I learned about Mars and Venus, actually the god and goddess in astrology, the sacred masculine and feminine, everything started to click. I realized, there's all these different versions of the masculine and the feminine, and I actually have all these different parts of myself, and that just led me on the journey, and I started traveling some more, and I studied with some Mayan elders, and I studied some Mayan astrology for a while, but I realized that Western astrology really got me right into the core of people's personalities and souls and their journey on the planet, and so I dedicated myself to that. And in the first year, I went to a lot of conferences, my first year of study, and then I went actually and studied with a great relocation astrologer, Moses Sirigar. And he was really amazing because he was also a Vedic and Western astrologer who practiced relocation astrology. Very unique, combination of things. So I learned quite a bit from him, and just, was able to look back at my travels and see the accuracy of the relocation techniques. And then I also have now, used it in forward thinking for where I currently live and for future, trips that I take, and of course with all my clients. So that's kind of a short version of my journey with astrology.
One of the things I've been fascinated about is that, I've read an article about how you traveled, and as you went through your travels, you were documenting when you went through your Venus line, what happened when you were in Morocco, what happened in these different areas that you begin to discover. And, one of the things that I was fascinated about is how everything played out, fell right into place. When you were in Morocco, I think you said you were you had all these experiences, and you were on your Venus line, and then you were on your Saturn line, and you begin to really document and pinpoint how things really played out. But for the listener, for the person that's saying, what is relocation astrology? What is astrocartography? What does it mean that I can travel somewhere and be able to know the experience that I'm about to embrace before I get there?
Yeah. Well, this is the best place to start, because there's just a premise that, astrologers have been working with since Jim Lewis first really brought astrocartography out to the world in the late 70s, a lot in the 80s, that, wherever we are on the planet, there's different different influences there, different energetic influences. So even though we have our birth charts, and that's from where we were born and the date and the time, if we relocate our charts to say a lot of us aren't living where we were born, if we relocate them to that new area or to a place that we travel to, we will see that there'll be different energetic influences. One of the ways those influences come is through what we call astrocartography lines. And that basically is saying that your chart is sort of rotating as you move around the planet. And that means that different planets in different signs are rising or setting, and those would influence a sense of oneself and one's relationships, or the kind of people we attract. And then there's also, what is shifting are the angles of career and home. So there's going to be different influences that would shape your home environment and your career path. So those change, every longitude, those different angles will shift. So you'll just see that different parts of your soul, of your work here on the planet, there may be potentials in you that get realized in different places in the world. And there's a lot of techniques within relocation astrology, and I'm sure we're going to talk about those, with local space, and there's also something called parans. But the primary one that people have heard about is astrocartography. And I'll just say one other thing that I think is valuable for us is, we all live now in a world where, planes are always booked, we're always traveling, we have a lot more freedom to go sort of wherever we want, whenever we want. And so we actually live in an age where we're really blessed, but we have almost more responsibility to travel or to move more intentionally in our life, and to call in certain parts of our soul and our potential by using relocation astrology to activate those parts. So we just live in a world now that allows more freedom, more opportunity to really access these particular frequencies inside of us. So if we want to call in a relationship, a beloved, if we want to really get our career activated and have some opportunities with that, or find a stable home, with good friends and family, and you can find better or worse places for those intentions. So depending on what you want in life, we can find those places on the planet that will support that.